Hey guys, welcome back to this beautiful channel. It's me, the Chainsaw Maniac, and I'm here actually just working on some things. This video is basically just to give you guys a little update of what's going on, what I've planned, and just my future projects, as well as many other things that I'm working on in the back for you guys. So that's basically what it is. A little bit of motivation, a little bit of background noise, whatever you want to call it, it's here for you, okay? So I did actually have a video planned, but you see, I didn't have enough time to put it together. But that video will come out next week, Thursday. And that video is basically because I thought, I don't really talk about my OCs and my webcomic like in general. I just don't talk about it as much in terms of its lore and the characters and the world and everything about it. I don't really go into it. I don't really talk about it as much with you guys. Maybe on a live stream, but never in a video. So I thought about maybe next week, Thursday, I will be diving deep into my webcomic. Not too deep, there won't be too much spoilers, because just in case, most of you haven't read it yet, or you at a certain point that you didn't pass yet, and I don't want to spoil anything for you guys, but it's just mainly talking about the overall theme and what the comic's about, the characters and everything, as well as I'll be going through a timeline of events for my webcomic for certain things that is already mentioned in the webcomic, and how the story is about, like, not gonna play out, but what's going on in the back of it. And I'll be clearing up some things for you guys, but that's for next week, Thursday. I'll be dealing with all that nonsense. And you see, I didn't really have the time to, because I have to reread my webcomic and deal with certain focal points and certain events that they mention in the webcomic. And since I've never really planned it fully out, and I've just kind of winged it most of the time, there's certain things that I haven't really planned out or written down somewhere. It's actually just on my webcomic, so I have to actually go through it and reread the entire webcomic, and then I'll basically make a timeline of events for what has happened so far. And I feel it will be cool, because not this week, this week I won't be uploading, because I'm taking an extra week to work on the ending of the first season of my webcomic. So next week I feel it will be fitting to actually recap the entire webcomic season 1, and go through certain things and focal points in the season, so that when you jump into the final episode, it will kind of tie everything nicely together in a nice cool package. Okay, so for this video I'm just basically going to be talking about my future plans, other projects I have, and just basically giving you guys some background noise so you can actually get started on whatever you're working on. Maybe I'll mention some challenges I plan on doing. I'm not sure, maybe not. That's another thing for another day, but for now I'm just going to talk about the things I'm working on currently for Webtoon, as well as my webcomic process and many other things I'm working on. And I'll basically be doing this in traditional speed painting, speed drawing type of fashion. I'm not gonna have that much time to actually edit the video properly with the character in it and everything, because that's gonna take time, and I don't really have the time right now. So hopefully you enjoy the traditional speed painting drawing thing in the background with me just talking over. As you can see, I'm kind of working on finishing a OC, which is gonna be which I will actually talk about later on in the video, for one of my future projects I'm working on. She's actually one of the OCs, and as well as the main characters for the series, so I will be talking about it. I talked that in the previous stream, if you guys want to check that out, where I actually sat down and drew the basic like skeleton structure or the sketch of this character, and kind of formed out the body using Blender and 3D models and all types of crazy things. So yeah, I would suggest checking that out. But for now, enjoy the video, enjoy me just rambling in your ear, and maybe you want to get a pen out, get whatever you need out, and maybe you can work on your things as well, or maybe you just want to listen to me ramble. So first of all, I think the best place to start on is what am I currently working on at this moment. Well, at this moment I'm working on finishing my final episode for my first season for my webcomic, The Merchant of Ignatius. Guys can check it out on Webtoon or Tapas. Feel free. Links are all in the description. Yeah, so that's what I'm working on currently, as well as working on a new webcomic process using Blender. And obviously in the background, I'm working on YouTube stuff like my videos and live streams. So that's going on. And there's plenty of things that I'm doing on my channel, which you can probably see. There's things I'm changing, things I'm updating. You know, I'm making little small changes to my channel, making sure it's in tip-top shape, and you can basically see how my channel's slowly evolving, little things I'm doing here and there. So yeah, that's basically what I'm currently working on now. For the Blender process in the future, once I'm done with my first season of the webcomic, The Merchant of Ignatius, once I'm done with that, working on a new project using my Blender process, try and work out all the kinks and hinks here and there in the process that will kind of hinder my progress, as well as looking at many other ways to better my webcomic process and how I develop my webcomics, making things easier for me as well as learning the tools needed in Blender and how it works and all types of crazy things, like all these types of things, how they kind of go together, and how will I render and upload and all that types of things. I have to go into all these details onto how I do that. Now the way I'm gonna figure this out is obviously practice, and actually just practically just getting into it, and kind of and I know I will fail along the way. There will be bumps and humps here and there in the road that I'll have to kind of just ride over and figure out many other ways on how I can get past that. So I will be creating a new short story project called, I haven't actually figured out a name for it, but it's based on the cloning idea I had in one of my earlier live streams, where I had this crazy idea of clones, and some sort of like this guy is a clone of this other guy, and there's all types of clone inception going on, all types of weird stuff. And we actually talked about it in an earlier live stream, and I'm doing something with that idea, and I'll be making a short story. It should be about 3 to 5 episodes long, each episode having about generally the same amount of panels I normally use, which is like 40 panels. I might go to 60 panels depending on how things go, so we will see how that goes. So that's the next thing after I'm done with the first season of my current webcomic, and that's the thing I'll be working on in the background, as well as working on my Blender process and how I'm going to do that. And then after that, I will be working on the other webcomic which I was planning on working on, Blade Reapers, which now I can kind of bring you guys back to the character I'm working with on screen. And she's one of the main characters of that comic. It's kind of like a buddy cop thing in a way. So she's one of the characters, and there's another character, I can't remember his name. I think it was Mike Thomas. Mike, did I just say Thomas? Thomas, same thing. It's spelled the same. Okay, so that guy and her, they're gonna be like a buddy cop thing, but it's also gonna be a little twist to it that's kind of gonna make things all crazy like. So it's gonna be, kind of think of it like two detectives working with each other, but it's gonna kind of be like Death Note in a way, where you're gonna kind of have to find the killer, but then the killer is also trying to, you know, one up the other people. It's gonna be crazy. So and I'm actually gonna plan for that. I'm actually gonna start writing a bit more and actually plan out my story for that one. So that's that. And then I think that's it for now, right? That's the main projects I'm working on at currently. So that's basically YouTube. In the background, I'm working on YouTube stuff. Then I'm working on the short story, as well as the Blender process, and then also Blade Reapers, the new webcomic, the new big webcomic I'm planning on creating. Obviously, after I'm done with the first season of Blade Reapers, I will hop back onto Merchant of Ignatius and do the second season, and then hop back to Blade Reapers second season. So I'll kind of go interchangeably with Blade Reapers and the Merchant of Ignatius. If I decide to do a new webcomic, I have a new webcomic idea. I think what I'll do is these are going to be my two main big webcomics that will be ongoing, right? And then I think in between, whatever ideas I have for webcomic, I'll throw it out there as short stories. I think that will be a good idea. Throw it out there as short stories, and if it really gets good, a good pull, one of them get a good pull, like a lot of my audience like a certain short story, I might adapt it into an actual full running webcomic series as well. So I feel like that's gonna be a really good idea, to see which ideas kind of meld well with the different genres and audiences that I'll be going for. So I'll be doing my own little short stories in the back while working on these two big stories. Now, all of you have already stated, many of the other Webtoon creators / YouTube creators have all stated that I'm completely insane and it's so much work, but it's not really that much work, to be honest. If it's scheduled and planned out the way it's supposed to be planned out, it will go perfectly. Everything will fall where it needs to fall, and I'm also compensating for the times when things get a little wild and maybe I get sick, or maybe I'm giving myself a little leeway. So if something happens, and then I can still take care of myself, still hang out with my family and everything. So I'm compensating for that as well. So there's a lot. So I'm kind of like planning this whole process going on in the back. I also, just to give you guys a heads up, I also started a Ko-fi page because some people have been getting at me like, how do we support you? Obviously I have a Patreon, but I don't feel like you should support me on Patreon right now. At the moment, you shouldn't actually right now, because I have nothing to offer on Patreon at the moment, because I'm not really active on it. I'm too busy right now. But obviously once I'm done with the first season of Merchant with Nitrous, I will also be focusing more on my Ko-fi and Patreon page, and kind of give something to you guys if you support me on there. You don't have to, but it actually does help. So we'll see how that goes in the future. Obviously my Patreon is linked on my channel as well as my Ko-fi page. I'm not sure I added my Ko-fi page yet in the description, but if you go to my banner, you will see all the links up there on my banner, so on my channel. So that's that. So I'm gonna give you guys a little update on the Blender process so far. So far, I can still see all the potential that this thing is gonna have. How I set up an actual workspace for you guys, so you guys can actually do it yourself, not sure yet. I'm still working on that part, but so far it's working for me because I actually know how to use Blender. But if you guys know how to use Blender, and maybe in the future also this is another project I'm planning on working on in the future, I forgot to mention, that if I can figure out this Blender process, I figured it out completely, I know how to do it, I know how to export it in a certain format so you can upload it to Webtoon, and I figure out the whole process. I'll be doing a video series on it to help you guys out, basically. So you can actually use Blender in your own Webtoon making process, so it makes things easier for yourself. But it's like I said before, if you're good at Clip Studio Paint, if you're good at Creator, if you're good at Photoshop, and you come from those 2D painting platforms and you come to Blender, it's gonna be quite difficult for you to grab a hold of the process. But I'm pretty sure you can do it if you really want to. I would recommend trying it out, and if it doesn't work for you, stick to what you're good at. Don't try and put a square peg into a round hole, basically. You know, if you're good at one thing, stick to that one thing if it works for you. But if you want to try something new and get a little fancy like me, you can try out Blender and see if it works for you. So far the process is fine, everything is good. The drawing process is easy enough, you know, I can get things done the way I wanted to get things done. Also, I'm looking into animating certain parts of the drawings and stuff like that, so that's gonna be interesting as well. But yeah, overall it's fine. Also, a little secret project I'm working on in the back. If you're this far into the video, I'm working on a VTuber avatar for my channel. So I'll be transforming myself and evolving into a VTuber. So I'll put up an example of what I've got so far for it. and it's looking pretty snazzy, looking pretty cute, a cute little chibi character, which will be popping up on screen every now and then to give you guys a little high five, a little hi there, and he's probably dancing on the screen if you guys are probably looking at him right now. But yeah, there's a lot of things I've planned to do, so that's what I'm trying to get across. There's a lot of projects, a lot of things I have my hands in, and we're gonna see how this goes. We're gonna get on this little roller coaster. We're gonna put the bar down, you know, that safety bar, and we're gonna ride this roller coaster all the way back. Okay, we're gonna see how this thing goes. Thank all of you who have been supporting me all the way so far. I really appreciate it, you guys. Don't know how much it means to me. It's really motivational, really inspirational, and it really helps me get the motivation I need for these videos, because people always ask me, like, how do you stay motivated? How do you stay motivated to do this? How do you stay motivated to that? And this is the thing. If one person believes in me, this is how I stay motivated, basically. If one person believes in me, it doesn't matter who that person is, as long as there's one person believing in me, even if it's myself, I know I can do what I need to do. I'm amped. I'm amped to do what I'm supposed to do, or what I should do, and I'll get into it and get it done, you know. So yeah, shout out to everyone who's been supporting me all the way, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you leave a like down below, as well as maybe leave a comment down below saying how much you enjoyed the video, or if you just think I'm rambling on about a bunch of nonsense, you know, you can leave that in the comment section as well. It all helps the YouTube algorithm and my channel, so you can do that if you feel like supporting me, as well as you can also check out my webcomic on Tapas, as well as Webtoon as well. I have a Ko-fi and Patreon page. If you want to throw me some coffee out on Ko-fi, go ahead and do that. I'm pretty sure I'll leave a link to that in the description down below. But if it's not there, you can head to my banner and check it out as well. I will be posting regular updates on Ko-fi as well as Patreon on my Blender process, actually. So you guys, and you don't have to be a Patreon or donate or anything. It will basically be free. You can literally go on my page and check it out. The whole process will be there. So if you feel like supporting me on there, you can go ahead. You don't have to if you don't want to. I'm not forcing you. I'm not holding a gun to your head, guys. It's just I feel like because some people feel like they want to support me and they don't know how to do it, you know. It's now there, okay? But usually just subscribing and liking is more than enough, okay? It's more than enough. And that's it for this video, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye now.